on Outback truckers. Turbo gambles his truck.
The road is that rough. Last time I destroyed the entire back end.
And his life.
Don't feel like being blown up tonight.
To complete an epic journey home. Logging trucker Brett Robin has a battle on his hands.
One of the hardest driving jobs anywhere in the world.
To deliver massive machines into a mountain forest.
People have accidents. It's just part and parcel of this job.
Heavy haulage expert Yogi is racing to beat a vital deadline.
Come on. 2-0, 2-0. Touch and go, I think.
With his business on the line, it's a make or break job. On a roadside deep in the Northern Territory, Turbo has a serious problem.
Real big snake territory, this.
He's alone, hundreds of kilometres from help, and dealing with a badly damaged truck. If he can't get moving soon, he'll lose a vital job worth thousands of dollars.
I feel like a G.I. Joe now.
Turbo's partway through a run from Darwin to the remote town of Mount Isa to pick up a load of mining equipment. Then he's heading home to Brisbane. At a massive 4,300 kilometres, it's like driving from London almost to Tehran. The 47-year-old owns and runs his own business, with more than 3 decades' experience behind the wheel. Over the last 2 days, he's been racing to make one of the most important deadlines of his career.
I've got to do what I've got to do.
But after problems getting paid,
$100 sitting in the pocket ain't going to get you very far.
bushfires,
We're going to drive straight into the heart of it.
and a run-in with his nemesis,
Caravans.
mechanical problems are the last thing he needs.
I just want to climb in and just double check this.
A brake booster has come loose under his truck. It isn't working.
That brake booster is not going to apply the brakes. That wheel will just free spin, so there's no brakes on it.
But Turbo's in luck. Only one wheel's affected, and the truck's okay to continue.
This whole booster actually has to be replaced, but everything else is good.
If he's to make his next job, Turbo still has 500 kilometres to cover in just a few hours. Already under huge pressure, he's got a long night ahead. In the dense woodlands of southeast Australia,
One of the hardest driving jobs anywhere in the world.
a new logging season is about to begin. For 32-year-old Brett Robin, the next few days will test his skill behind the wheel to the limit. It's Brett's job to move a series of huge machines deep into a mountain forest. Without them, the season can't begin.
When you start stressing, that's when things go wrong.
Brett's based in the Central Highlands of Victoria, 70 kilometres east of Melbourne. Over the next 3 days, he'll be making a series of trips from his home in Yarra Junction to the forest of Mount Taronga. It's a 700-kilometre run on some of the toughest, tightest, winding tracks in Australia. Logging is one of the most hazardous jobs in the world.
As dangerous goes, very, very dangerous job.
Only the best of the best can cut it behind the wheel on these roads.
You take your eyes off where your steer tyre's going for even, 2 or 3 seconds, you're in trouble.
Brett's been driving here nearly every day for the last 13 years.
Timber industry is one of them things that it's in your blood. I used to ride around with Dad from being a little kid. Every Saturday, every day off, Dad would do maintenance on weekends and I'd be sitting up in the truck.
For 5 generations, the Robin family have worked these renewable forests.
Everything's a 80-year cycle. Once we harvest it, they generally burn it and regenerate it. And it's grouse to be able to go back and harvest and regenerate areas my grandfather and great-grandfather have done. I hope my kids get to do it too.
With the start of a new season, Brett is hoping for good weather. But recent forecasts bring bad news. Heavy rain is due. If it hits, he won't be going anywhere.
We're not allowed in and out of the bush when it's wet. They're not the types of days you want to be driving a truck on the road anyway.
If Brett can't deliver the goods, a multi-million-dollar logging operation will grind to a halt.
Yeah, we can't start harvesting or hauling until we get the machines in the bush. We've got a short time frame. We want to get into it.
To survive here, it takes a very special trucker.
You've got to be dedicated. You've got to want to drive on these roads. And I know one bloke that packed up his bags after halfway through his first load and just went home. So he never come back. Left the truck and went.
Outside Perth, 36-year-old heavy haulage trucker Yogi is battling to keep one of the biggest weeks of his career on track.
Because I'm chasing a fault. It's a bit of a problem. You know, I haven't got the option to go back and load this afternoon.
He has an electrical fault that's affecting his brake lights. If they fail, he'll have to take his truck off the road, right in the middle of a crucial job.
So he's got to go and chase this auto electrical problem.
Based in Katanning, Western Australia, Yogi's midway through moving 4 huge agricultural machines to Dowran for a farming exhibition, deep in the state's wheat belt. By now, he should have completed 2 330-kilometre round trips. But after being delayed with mechanical problems,
I've got no brake lights on the truck now.
roadworks and bad weather, he still has 3 more machines to deliver and just a day to do it. But he has 15 years experience behind the wheel and driving is his passion.
My original plan was to be a Formula 1 race car driver, and it turned out I grew up and I got a little bit big.
Just 3 months ago, Yogi and his wife Amanda set up their own business.
Yogi, how you going, mate?
He's under huge pressure. Already behind schedule, he's running out of time.
I've had to change my time slots from today till tomorrow. 26 to 9 tonne each.
Yogi and Amanda have borrowed heavily to fund his new venture. The future of his business and his family is at stake.
And you dig this too?
Yogi's made a temporary fix to faulty brake lights. He wants them repaired properly, but finding an auto electrician is proving tricky.
Can I come and see you, or you're too busy, or... Yeah, right, okay. Yep. There. Well, that was useless. Frustrating. So, yeah.
Yogi's repairs will have to hold.
Can't find anyone to look at the trailer, so we'll just go and load instead. Yeah.
Right now, he's got a new mission.
Francesco. Hey, Francesco, it's Yogi from Kendall Trucking, mate. I'm out at the lakes, so I reckon I'll be in there by 5 o'clock or just before 5 o'clock. So can we load that little machine today, please? Thanks, buddy. See you, mate. See ya.
With the whole job hanging in the balance, it's vital Yogi finds a way to get back on schedule. If he can load one of the 3 machines today, he'll save precious hours tomorrow and give himself a chance of getting the job done on time.
Come on, this is frustrating here.
But the clock is against him. It's 4:30 and the loading yard closes at 5. On top of that, Yogi's heading into Perth's rush hour.
Back in the world's worst drivers.
You're all too weird.
451.
On this job, Yogi's name and new business are at stake.
We've got about 3 or 4 Ks to go. We've got 10 minutes. No, correction, we've got 8 minutes.
The next few minutes could be the difference between make or brake. 1,000 kilometres out of Darwin, Turbo is pushing hard. In the dead of night, the roads are usually quiet. But suddenly, up ahead, Turbo spots company. A stationary car on a lonely outback highway is a worrying sign.
You see someone on the side of the road out here, naturally we just assume that there's a problem.
It's time he can't spare, but Turbo needs to investigate. The occupants are a pair of tourists trying to reach Darwin in a very damaged car.
Mate, that's done so much structural damage under here in those rails. I'm just astounded how you've even been able to keep it on the road. If you're going up to Darwin like this, it wouldn't make it. So, Barclay Station about 20 clicks up the road, because after that, there's pretty well nothing. They hit a kangaroo about a day and a half ago, and they've continued to drive with the fan going through the radiator, chilling it up, and radiators back into the engine, cooked engine.
Amazingly, the car is still running, but it does need fuel. Everyone knows petrol and flames don't mix. Except these two.
Not with fuel, not with the smoke, with fuel.
Oh, yeah.
Mate, I don't feel like being blown up tonight. One of them decided to light a cigarette with an open fuel can, with fumes coming out of the fuel can. Both of them had cigarettes going. They were just some people that you could not help. I'm sorry, no matter what you told them, they don't care. I reckon they'll drive straight past the station and they'll just keep going on their little merry way to Darwin. All right?
Okay, that's good.
Not a problem. Have a good one.
Thank you.
It's 5 a.m. on a cold spring morning in Victoria. For Brett Robin and his family firm, one of the most important jobs of the year is about to begin.
We've got a short time frame. We've got to get these machines in the bush in the next few days so as that we can get a start. We can't start harvesting or hauling until we get the machines in the bush.
For the next 3 days, Brett will face some of the most dangerous roads in Australia.
Got to be on the ball all the time. It's not like driving up and down the highway chasing a white line. People do get bogged, especially this time of the year. And every now and then, someone has an accident and tips one over.
His first load is a 28-tonne excavator, double the weight of a London bus. To reach it, Brett will have to negotiate the notorious Black Spur Road.
It's a reasonably tight road.
It's 60 kilometres of narrow, winding track, with steep drops and solid banks on either side.
Gutters drop off so quick and the bitumen finishes right at the white line. You're talking about a matter of inches. You've got to be aware of other drivers all the time.
Despite the early hour, Brett's got plenty of company.
You always get cars on the wrong side of the road. Cars overtaken, especially on spots where there's no room to be overtaken. Everyone's in a hurry to get to where they're going. Always a lot of accidents on this road.
While traffic is a constant hazard, as Brett climbs higher into the mountains, he's faced with even more danger. Dense fog and bright sunshine makes visibility poor.
Nothing bloody worse. Come around the corner in the fog, could be a tree across the road.
In these conditions, anything coming the other way could spell disaster. Heavy haulage trucker Yogi must reach a client by 5 p.m. if he's to stand a chance of completing a vital delivery.
Yeah, here we go.
With his new business at stake, The fate of the whole job rests on the next 10 minutes.
Righto. We need 2 good changes of the lights here. Come on. We're gonna make it. Somebody's smiling down on us today. That is fantastic. One more. Now what? 3 minutes. Righto.
At 4:59,
Hello.
Yogi's made it. It's a massive relief to load up this 4.5-ton forklift. While Yogi's caught a break, his work is far from done. He's been up since 3:30 a.m, but he still needs to find the electrical fault on his $150,000 trailer.
Just going through the process of grabbing every wire. Hopefully it'll trip out.
It's causing his brake lights to short out. If they fail, his truck will have to come off the road.
There's a bit of wiring back here.
With the job at risk, it could be a long night. After losing time to help some daredevil tourists, Turbo's closing fast on his next pickup in Mount Isa.
I'm going to be cutting it very fine on my time.
Turbo's truck is his livelihood. His success depends on keeping it moving and keeping it loaded.
X amount of dollars for this boat to come from Darwin back to Brisbane. There's X amount of dollars from the load from Mount Isa to Proserpine. Those 2 loads put together still don't cover the amount of fuel that I'm going to burn. I'm running at a loss, but by doing these couple of jobs, that's bringing me back towards home.
Home is still 2,500 kilometres away in Brisbane, where he lives with daughter Tracy and wife Jo.
When we first met, I used to go in the truck with him. But after a while, it just got too much.
Turbo is away for weeks and months at a time. Being home is a welcome break.
You having egg? You having egg or you're not having egg?
Yeah, right. Well, I'll probably have one now.
And a chance to catch up on household chores. Like clearing a wasp's nest, Turbo style. Back on the road to Mount Isa, Turbo's got problems with a different kind of beast. Cattle wandering along highways is a regular sight in the Outback. They're a hazard to all road users, especially car-driving tourists.
Car drivers that aren't locals and don't know about this sort of stuff have no idea, come flying straight into them and bang, got them. It would kill somebody in a car, in the truck, it would rip the whole front of the truck off. The bull bar would basically be sitting in our lap.
Slowing for the cattle means Turbo's lost more valuable time. But at least he's made a friend. Yogi is working into the night to find the cause of an electrical fault. Under his trailer, every strip of wire must be checked.
I reckon I might have found. It's basically shorting out there on that number plate light.
The problem's being caused by 2 cables rubbing together. Disconnecting one of them will stop the shorting.
they'll disconnect the number plate light and it probably won't have a reversing light. But if they're still working, and they're still working down the back, happy days.
Finally, it's problem solved.
We're all good in the hood. The end is but now.
Next morning, and it's a big day for Yogi. Along with the forklift, he's due to deliver a giant seeder and a tractor to a major farming exhibition. All three must arrive today. There's only one way for Yogi to finish the job on time. Try to fit all three on his newly repaired trailer.
Oh, still got lights.
I don't know, I might have over committed and under calculated. All in the deck space. If it all fits, it'll all fit.
With the farming exhibition starting in 24 hours, it's do or die.
So I've definitely got to be up there today. There's no if, buts or whats. If we don't make it today, it's, customer's not happy.
Yogi's first challenge is loading a 2.5-ton, $80,000 seeder. It's big, awkward, and brand new. 2 down, 1 to go. Now space is tight.
There's 4 there.
If he's to fit the last machine on, Yogi must hope he's left enough room.
Right, let's go to work.
With another machine to load and 160 kilometres to cover, the job's going down to the wire. Gridlock is the last thing he needs. After running into a thick fog bank, Brett Robin has made it to the first pickup of a tough 3 days. For now, conditions are perfect. But at this time of year, the weather can change fast. Brett's meeting his brother Glenn to load a massive excavator.
Now we need this machine back up the bush, so we're moving it out.
It's urgently needed in another part of the forest, where loggers are waiting to start work. At 28 tonnes, it's heavier than 4 adult elephants.
When he's driving it up on the float, he's blind on one side. I guide him on, that way a couple inches.
Brett and Glenn must be centimetre perfect.
Another inch. Righto.
Next, Brett must chain the excavator to his trailer. But today, he's in for an unpleasant surprise.
It's good when you turn up after you've asked the blokes to bloody dig it out, and then you turn up here and it's still full of mud.
It may be a dirty job, but it's vital the massive load is secure.
If I go around a corner and my chains are not holding properly and it slides, bad deal.
Finally, the boys are ready to go. Fully loaded, Brett's truck weighs in at more than 50 tonnes. At 30 metres, it's twice the length of a London bus. With a steep descent and more than 20 hairpin bends to negotiate, it's a supreme test of Brett's driving skill.
There might be something on the road that, you end up moving around at that 6 inches, and that 6 inches can be enough that'll put you over the bank.
In the middle of a forest, there are hazards around every corner.
Driving along 1 minute and you'll be good as gold, and then you'll come along a soft spot from where the water's sitting underneath it. Oh. Too close to the soft spot, could end up sinking and tipping the truck over.
Brett's made it through the worst.
People have accidents. It's just part and parcel of this job.
But around the next corner, there's another surprise. On one side, a deep, soft gutter. On the other, a sheer drop.
You can end up on your roof on one side or bogged on the other.
After a long night, Turbo's within touching distance of his next stop. He's scheduled to pick up a load of mining equipment in Mount Isa.
Probably 70, about 75, 80 clicks out of Isa. When I left my yard in Darwin yesterday, I was very doubtful that I was going to get down here in time.
With the load comes the promise of much needed cash.
It's 9:10 now. Roughly 10 o'clock was when I said I was going to be there. At this, the way it is looking, 10 o'clock I will be there.
But for Turbo, one deadline is replaced by another.
I should be loaded within half an hour, 40 minutes tops, and I've got to get to Proserpine to unload by lunchtime tomorrow. That is one big mine, that, eh? I'm actually 10 minutes ahead of schedule, which is good. So I've spoken with the customer. He's given his boys a call up here, so they're going to meet me at the front gate so we can go straight in and load.
After all the mechanical failures, delays and money problems, it's a huge relief for Turbo.
I'm here, I'm happy, and I'm ahead of schedule. That's what I want, and I'm proud.
Brett Robin is fighting to avoid thick mud on one side and a steep drop on the other.
I had to get out a little bit wide on that corner. It was one that dragged me in the gutter.
Finally at his destination, Brett can unload the urgently needed excavator. But after losing time cleaning his freight, he has another problem.
Things are taking us a little bit longer than what they should have. So now we're going to have to chance the rain.
The winter break has been a lean time for the family firm.
We've had 5 months off because we finished our quota early, so we're sort of really keen to get the machines back in the bush before this storm hits.
More delays could cost them big money. Brett's truck is already struggling to cope in wet conditions. If more rain comes, he could get bogged. He's picking up a 20-ton digger. At 4 metres wide, Brett will have to extend his hydraulic trailer to get it on board. But there's a problem. It isn't budging.
Oh, the bloody float won't widen out.
With dark clouds gathering, Brett puts in a call to his mechanic.
It's jammed up hard, like it's actually got heaps of pressure on it. Yeah, righto. All right, we'll give that a go.
The mechanic thinks a locking pin may have slipped back into place. It should be an easy fix. But under the trailer,
No pin on this side.
there is no locking pin. It's back onto the phone for plan B.
Yeah, there's no pin on this side.
Lunchtime traffic has cost Yogi another precious hour. With one more pickup
Come on.
and 160 kilometres to go, he must be at the farming show before sunset. After 15 years driving trucks, Yogi's covered more than 3 million kilometres. That's 4 trips to the moon and back. It's a journey he began with his father.
My dad's been a real good inspiration to me over the years. He's taught me a lot about driving and work ethics. He did everything for us as a kid that he could possibly do as a father. Our growing up was just brilliant.
It was his father's experience in the trucking industry which inspired Yogi to run his own business.
He worked at one company for 21 years and basically left, and I don't know what he got for it. I don't really think he got anything for his service and his loyalty. So that pushed me to look at, well, maybe I should do something for myself.
But recently, ill health has meant tough times for the whole Kendall family.
Unfortunately, he's got Lewy bodies, form of dementia, so at 61, so yeah, it really cuts me in half. I struggle big time with it because I don't know how to deal with it. Yeah, it just doesn't sink in. Yeah. Righto, we're nearly here.
As he arrives at his final pickup, at last there's some good news for Yogi. The 2-ton tractor fits.
Oh, relief.
Fully loaded, Yogi's carrying 9 tons of equipment worth more than $250,000. In treacherous conditions, he needs a trouble-free 160 kilometres to Darwin. Brett Robin is sweating on a vital phone call to his mechanic.
Where's Daryl?
With rain fast approaching, he needs to get his hydraulic trailer working or run the risk of getting bogged.
No pin on this side.
The trailer's been idle during the winter break. The source of the problem could take days to find.
Pull it out the excavator.
Brett's only got one option: use the excavator to force the trailer open. With the trailer open, Brett can load up and get back on the road. He's heading for a forest 60 kilometres away at the end of another narrow dirt track. Better suited to 4x4s, it's not a journey for the faint-hearted.
My wife come for a ride first time ever in a truck, and this was the road we come along. Down here where you look over the bank, probably, if you don't like heights, you come down here, it's the last time she's ever been in a truck.
Up ahead is a notoriously tight hairpin. Brett must play a balancing game to get around it.
There's both sides of the road soft, because it's a big soak that comes down here in like a spring.
To stop his truck from sliding down the steep bank,
You only get one go at this corner.
Brett needs to place his front tyres as far over to the right as he dares. Push too far and he'll bog the truck in thick mud.
Beautiful. We're out in the mud.
The logging camp isn't far away. While the roads are tight and twisting, at least they're empty. That's until the car ahead is blocking the road, and there's no way Brett can reverse. In Queensland, Turbo has picked up 4 tons of mining equipment. It's due to be dropped off 800 kilometres away in the town of Proserpine, en route to his home in Brisbane. That's if
Get in there!
he can get his load to cooperate. With another deadline looming, Turbo's decided to risk his truck by taking a shortcut.
5k up the road, flick onto a 250k dirt section of real rough road, that's going to save me about $500 in fuel.
It's a high-stakes gamble. If conditions are bad, Turbo could pay a hefty price.
Last time I come up it, I destroyed the entire back end, all suspension, airbags, bushes, pins, couplings, the lot, because of the corrugations and the roughness of the rocks that we've got to go over.
Turbo's truck is his living. He can't afford that kind of damage again.
It's going to be really hard. I am nervous.
Despite the nerves, Turbo takes the gamble. From here, he has 250 kilometres of dirt to survive. Every K is a threat to his truck.
Some of these rocks will actually puncture tyres. Just trying to find a smooth line. Which ain't easy.
It doesn't take long before the road starts to attack his rig.
It is making the truck step sideways, left and right.
And with dust pouring from his tyres, he can't see the load behind.
I've lost visual on trailers down both sides, so I can't see what's going on.
Suddenly, something isn't right.
The way it looks at the moment, it looks like that it's probably chopped part of the suspension out, either in the prime mover or the trailer, because we're actually now crab walking. The trailer's kicked out, the prime mover's kicked out the opposite way.
Turbo has no choice but to pull up and check for damage. He's a long way from help. A mechanical failure out here will be hard to fix. Turbo may be about to lose his gamble. In the Highlands of Victoria, Brett Robin has run into the world's smallest traffic jam.
I've got a car that's come up here and is propped in the middle of the road and has got no idea where to go.
Confronted with a 30-metre-long, 50-tonne truck, the driver has frozen. Brett can't move over any further.
Last thing you want to do is risk moving over that extra foot and being down over the edge, which has happened quite a few times.
The only way forward is back.
I don't think she's real good at going backwards.
It's a minor delay, but daylight's running out fast. Brett needs to push on and make camp before dark. Finally, the finish line is in sight. Brett's beaten the weather, survived the road, and delivered massive machines into the heart of the Victorian forest. And he's made it without a scratch. At least this time.
Every now and then you do sort of stick yourself in a position where, you know, you're stuck to the seat, let's put it that way.
After battling through heavy rain, Yogi arrives at the Dowran farming exhibition.
Yeah, there you go. It's getting quite busy out here already. And of course it's raining, so of course we've got to do it in the rain.
Despite the delays, he's bang on time. All that remains is to safely unload his freight.
Every time I get to my destination, it's like 10 tonnes gets lifted off your shoulders.
Even if the weather is making Yogi work for every last dollar.
A lot of weight on my shoulders today. A lot of water on my shoulders.
Yogi just needs to walk the cedar home.
It's going to position this on the stand for Ozplow DBS.
And he can breathe a massive sigh of relief.
I love the job. I love the challenge of the job.
Can't see myself doing anything else.
It's been a huge few days for Kendall Trucking, but under massive pressure,
Now I probably can't load till 8 o'clock.
Yogi's overcome his troubles.
We are all good in the hood.
to deliver $500,000 worth of equipment, all with a big smile on his face.
It's been a long couple of days, but it does feel good to be empty, and that's fantastic. All my customers are happy, so at the end of the day, if they're happy, I'm happy.
Job done.
Oh, yeah, right. Tell you what, it's actually nice to be finished.
Turbo's decision to take a remote dirt road shortcut could be about to cost him dearly. He's still 1,000 kilometres from his home in Brisbane and a day's drive away from help. The truck has been handling badly.
Your vehicle will probably drive along in a straight line. Your trailer could step out to the side, or your prime mover could step out sideways. So instead of tracking a straight line, you'll track in an angle. Crab walking. You're going to start chewing tyres out and blowing tyres left, right and centre. I'm just checking. It looks like one of the saddles have gone.
Alone in near 40-degree heat, Turbo must check every part of his 40-metre road train. Having come so far, to fail now would be a disaster. But under the truck, there's no damage to be found.
I'm starting to think an optical illusion. Toes.
The crabbing was a false alarm. It's a big relief. Turbo can get back on the road.
All right. Should all be good now.
And set a course for home. Two days later, Turbo rolls into Brisbane. He's pushed hard, but he's in one piece.
Not with fuel, not with the smoke, with fuel.
After 4,300 kilometres, his freight's delivered.
I'm a winner. I'm always a winner. And I will always beat any obstacle that's ever put before me.
His truck's empty. For now, his wheels are still. He's made it to the most important destination,